Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, I'd like to go ahead and introduce myself and introduce our other panelists here today. My name is Riley Francis. I work for StraightUp Solar. Today, I'm also joined by Jake Hagedorn of StraightUp Solar and James Waters of Generac Batteries. Some housekeeping things before we get started. First, I'd like to let you all know we're going to run through a 30-minute presentation. And after our 30-minute presentation, we will have a question and answer session. If at any point during the presentation you have a question you'd like to ask, go ahead and drop it into the chat function and we will get to it when we get to the Q&A session. One more thing, this webinar is being recorded, so if at any point if you need to drop off, feel free to. We will send you the recording and you can get all the information. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, first things first is introductions. My name is Riley Francis. I am the solar coach at StraightUp Solar, and I like what I do. I've been on the StraightUp Solar team since 2018, and I like this work because it allows me to do something that can help people do something good for their wallet and good for the planet. And today I'm joined by Jake Hagedorn of StraightUp Solar. He is a solar project developer. Jake has been in the solar industry since January of last year, and he's passionate about this work because it allows him to do something that creates a more sustainable planet, one panel, one person, and one system at a time. And today we are joined by James Waters of Generac Batteries. He is the Market Development Manager. He's a NABCEP PV associate with a background in sales and operations in solar and storage. He's been working hard to provide energy independence and security through the Generac Power Cell platform. And a little bit about StraightUp Solar. We were founded in 2006 and we serve Illinois and Missouri. We have over 1,700 installations to date. We're part of the Amicus Solar Cooperative and we're a certified B Corporation. We have over 85 employees with about half of those employees having their NABCEP certification. NABCEP stands for the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners, and it is the most trusted certification for solar installers. We are a certified battery installer for the Generac Power Cell batteries that we're going to be talking about today. We're also an REC premium solar panels installer, and we offer a 10-year workmanship and production warranty on our systems. And the topics we're going to cover today. First, we're going to go over how does a battery work with solar. We're going to talk about the benefits of adding a battery onto your solar array. Then we're going to look specifically at the Generac Power Cell and get into the benefits that the Generac Power Cell offers. We're going to show you how you can get started on your own system with a battery. And then lastly, we'll go through our Q&A session. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Jake Hagedorn of StraightUp Solar. He is our resident solar expert, and he will take us through some more information about batteries. Take it away, Jake.
Hey gang, how's it going? Riley, thanks for the introduction. Thanks for joining us today. James, I'm glad to be in the same room with you guys. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us this evening to learn a bit about batteries and if they're right for you. Batteries are a great complement to a solar system. They're becoming much more popular today. Technology is increasing and getting constantly better behind batteries when paired with solar as well. So a couple key points, in regards to batteries. If you want to consume more of your solar energy that you're producing rather than send it back to the grid, you can take control of your power in case of a grid failure. Redundant backup in case a generator starts to fail. And you put your utilities monthly net metering policy on your side. Some utilities have net metering, some do not. So with a battery, you go more power independent. You take back your power, you store that extra power use during the day, and get to use that power at a couple different times. A couple other things that batteries also do, if you do not want a noisy generator backup, right? Choking and spitting and coughing out, diesel fumes or gasoline fumes. Plus, the installation of a generator can also add cost for a propane or natural gas tank if that is not already coming into the home. So every home is unique, of course. Every design for a solar system is different based on each person's power needs. And so what we do is we customize your battery to fit your unique individual needs for your home, whether you've got just you and a wife living there, you and your spouse, or you've got 7 kids who have lights on all day long working from home, or if you run a machine shop out of the garage and use a ton of electricity. Everybody's energy needs are different, so everyone's battery solutions are also different. So how does a battery work with solar? You're going to see 2 graphs here. Best way to describe these graphs is the one on the left indicates what your solar production is doing. Of course, you see the most solar production at the highest point of that bell curve at noon there. And what that is that extra solar production that you're storing in the battery. So the curvy line, the jagged line at the bottom, that is your power usage during the day. So you're producing more solar power than you need. Typically what would happen is you would send that extra power back to the grid. With a battery, you store that solar power in your battery. Number one function of the battery is it actually is it comes on every single night to power the home. And depending on the size of the battery, it'll either power part of the home or it'll power the entire home, and it depends on how much power you're using as to how long that battery will last. So the graph on the right illustrates that solar power that was produced that day being used that night when the sun goes down and the lights come on. You see within a millisecond that battery switches on. You don't see a blip in the lights. You don't have to reset the microwave clock. It's an automatic transfer of power from the battery into your home that you get to use that stored power during the day. You get to use that during the night. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of pairing a battery and solar? If we look at this here, in order to get the 26% tax credit of the total cost of the solar project, you always want to pair your batteries with solar. It's 26% here in 2021. So being able to take advantage of that, you need to have your system installed by December 31st of this year to realize that 26% tax credit in 2022. Benefits of a battery. When the grid goes down, you'll need a battery to access your solar power you've built up that day. Your battery is a backup protection when the grid goes out. If you did not have a battery and the power went out, you just have solar panels, the grid, your utility, will actually not allow you to send power back to the grid. Thus, your solar system will not provide power to the house if you just have solar and not a battery. So the importance of having that battery is you get to back up the home and use that solar power when the grid goes out. Secondly, we already talked about this, number 2, you're able to use that solar energy when the sun goes down. Sun goes down, lights come on, battery comes on every single night to power the house as long as it can, or as long as you tell it to. The battery is personalizable, where you have an app that is your battery is connected to. So right on your phone, you're able to control your battery to tell it how much power you want it to drain down to. If you always want there to be a certain percentage of power remaining in the battery, so if we do have a storm in the middle of the night, you know you've always got 25 or 30 or 35% power in that battery. So you can use, 75% of the battery during the night, but tell it to stop at 25. So if we do get a storm, you do have some extra juice left in the battery to power the home that night. So you use that battery when the sun goes down, the lights come on. Batteries are virtually no maintenance. There's no moving parts. There's no additional fuel costs. So number 3 there, just like solar systems themselves, very low maintenance because there's no moving parts, right? And your battery is the exact same way. And again, you get to monitor that battery right from an app on your phone that James, of course, is going to talk about here in a little bit. Number 4, battery improves your electric bill savings. So if you're using that solar power you created during the night, rather than pay for your electricity from the utility that night, you're going to see your electric bill continue to go down because you're using the solar power you created that day. You're using it that night that's stored in the battery. So you reduce your electric bill even further. Okay. And obviously, battery is a backup. So should the power go out during an outage, battery allows your inverter to operate when the sun is shining, but also provides electricity after the sun goes down. There's a seamless transaction. We already talked about this. You're not going to need to reset the microwave clocks. You won't see the lights flash on. Happens within a millisecond that battery comes on. Which is fantastic. So, you're not going to have to go around electronically and resetting all your appliances. And plus, we talked about this, the mobile app provides management of your power consumption as well. On that app, you're able to see some very unique things, how much power is in the battery, how much power your solar system is producing, how much power is going to the grid, and how much power is coming from the grid. So it's a very interactive and thorough app that you're going to have access to right at your fingertips when you have a battery as well. And this is a quick view of it. We're able to see a couple things on here. The screen on the left indicates, how much juice is in the battery, how much power is coming into the house from the grid. The yellow sunshine there indicates how much solar power you're producing, and then what the home is consuming as well. The middle one kind of shows, how much time you would have if you did have to back up. You've got 35% juice in the battery, so you've got 5 hours and 10 minutes of backup available. And then the image on the right shows your savings, estimated $40 savings bill. And this is all on the PowerView app that I'm talking about right at your fingertips. Very interactive. You're going to have a full view of exactly what's going on with your solar system and with your battery at the same time. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to James Waters here. He is our expert from Generac. And James, take the stage, sir.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate the introduction. Hey, everyone. I'm super excited to be going over our Generac Power Cell platform today while highlighting some of our latest features. So let's go ahead and jump right in. When it comes to choosing Generac on the solar plus storage side, the clean energy side of our business, it's important to know that Generac's been building an extremely successful backup power business for over 60 years. Generac is a US-based company and is actually the #1 brand in home standby generators with over 75% market share. Additionally, we have over 2.5 million backup residential customers, which is essentially the same number of customers as the entire US residential solar market. And then finally, we even have a storm response team that will be deployed to areas impacted by severe power outages. These teams assist our installation partners such as StraightUp on service calls and deliver products to areas in need. So let's chat a little bit about the benefits of choosing Generac Power Cell. Talked a little bit about it a moment ago, but the 60 years of home backup power experience with generators and all of the ancillary things that go with home standby backup just allowed us to create such a durable product. And through that, we've built out quite a few aspects of the backup system, which give us a great single vendor customer service and support aspect. Another great thing about the modular side of things is you can gradually increase the capacity over time. So if finances or immediate need only required a small amount of backup capability, that's something you can increase over time as well. Currently, we do have what we consider a DC coupled solution. So the inverter and the batteries are all in one single platform, but we will soon have that as an AC coupled solution, which would provide a more universal solution that would work with existing Enphase, Solar Edge, that type of thing. So let's just talk a little bit about the integrated system. Riley, if you wouldn't mind, thank you. Let's start out by getting into the nuts and bolts of the Generac Power Cell system. What we offer is a fully integrated solar plus storage ecosystem. Our inverters plug and play with battery storage and rooftop solar the way Apple computers integrate with iPhones, iPads, or an Apple Watch. They just simply work. The only products not manufactured and warranted by Generac are the PV modules and racking. The system is modular in design, so it can be optimally sized for solar and energy storage to meet your needs. Our value is we power more with less and at a lower cost to you as the homeowner. So let's take a look at the inverter, which is really the brains of the operation. Our power cell platform utilizes a single inverter for the solar plus storage. It's called a hybrid or multi-mode inverter. It's designed to operate in both grid-tied and backup scenarios. The inverter has a built-in automatic transfer switch rated for 50 amps, allowing it to back up a protected loads panel or what some would consider an essential loads panel in an outage without the need for an additional gateway or other device. We have a lot of flexibility in sizing the system from a solar perspective. This is due to the DC coupled nature. This allows excess solar to go straight into the battery versus being clipped in that other inverters may have. And then you can use that excess solar at nighttime. Inverter does come with a 10-year warranty that'll soon be extendable to 25. All of our rooftop components actually have a 25-year warranty, and the warranties on all the Generac products include parts and labor. So let's talk a little bit about the battery. When it comes to the battery, our storage option is unique in that it is modular in design. With our platform, you can size your energy storage in a similar way that you would size the solar. You can fit anywhere from 3 to 6 battery modules in a single cabinet to meet your energy needs. You can actually add a second battery cabinet for a total of 2 cabinets and quite a bit of battery capacity. Upgrading from our entry-level 9 kilowatt hour option to an 18 kilowatt hour is easy and can be done in the same battery cabinet. Because our system is DC coupled, meaning the batteries charge straight from the DC solar power, it is the most efficient storage solution on the market. And it also charges at twice the rate of our competitors. We do offer a 10-year warranty on the battery. And with this, it gives you a rough idea. You can cycle the batteries about 70% daily for over 10 years. With that, I'll pass it over to Riley, and she'll tell you a little bit more about how to get started on your solar battery project.
Great, thank you, James. All right, so there are 5 easy steps that you can take to get started on your solar battery project. First, you'll share some basic information about your home and your power consumption with one of StraightUp Solar's solar support specialists, and they'll get you started on the process. Then you will receive a customized system layout, proposal, and contract from a project developer, such as Jake. If you decide to go ahead and accept that contract, you will work with your project manager through the engineering, designing, and permitting process. Then you'll set a date for a highly trained installation crew to come out to your home and build, inspect, and energize your system. And then you'll be able to enjoy the benefits of your new solar array. Real quick, I would like to point out that we do have a couple events going on. Right now, we are a part of 3 group solar purchasing programs: Solarize Southern Illinois, Grow Solar St. Louis, and Grow Solar Metro East St. Louis. In these group purchasing programs, consumers in the area can pool together their purchasing power to go solar at a much lower cost. I highly suggest that if you live in the Carbondale area, the St. Louis area, or the St. Louis, Illinois side, Metro East side of St. Louis, that you look up these programs. I'd also like to point out that we have a couple events coming up later in July to celebrate our Tech Month. First, next week, next Wednesday, we're going to take a closer look at N-phase inverters. And then the Wednesday after, we're going to learn more about REC premium solar panels. And you can sign up for these webinars by going to straightupsolar.com/events. All right, and with that, we will jump into our Q&A session. Right before we get started, I would like to point out that Jake's contact information is here on this slide. If you'd like to go ahead and get started with a free quote, or if you have some questions that you'd like to direct to Jake personally, you can go ahead and reach out to him there.